Congratulatory messages are still pouring in from across the country for the man of the moment, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, after his emergence as the All Progressives Congress presidential flag bearer. Let's talk this through by speaking with a journalist, Emeka Madunagu. And thank you so much for joining us on TVC News this hour.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, viewers.
I know that a lot of journalists were actually following this, the APC primary from the intriguing development up until the moment the primary was actually done and the flag bearer emerged, the flag bearer of the APC. What do you make of all of the build-up to the primary and how it climaxed at the end of the day?
Yeah, okay. Like has been said, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu is someone who, takes politics very seriously. And one thing that has been said by so many people is that they've talked about his tenacity, his doggedness, and in pursuit of, things he considers within his sight, to be achievable. Yeah. So, of course, the build-up to the primaries, there were intrigues, there were betrayals, of course, as to be expected of politics, because politics, if you remember, Mahatma Gandhi said politics is not a business of principles. So, people basically get into politics for self-interest first before they consider the group interest. Now, nobody wants to go into politics to be disgraced or to be messed up or to just be an also-ran. Yeah. Unless those who see politics as just a vocation to make some money for themselves. And you saw there were people who actually were not serious. I mean, when you look at when all the aspirants came out, some were just there to entertain Nigerians. But at this point, Nigeria needs seriousness in leadership, not entertainment, not jokes. We need people who actually understand the dire situation in which the country is. I mean, where the country is at the point of almost spending 100% of its revenues on debt servicing, that's a dire situation. So it means that commercially, the Nigerian economy is not viable. So how do we get out of that? How do we get over 10 million children out of school? How do we get them into school? And we have the youth population, over 70%. What are we going to do with them? Many don't have jobs. So, and of course, we need to begin to also look back to some of the things Asiwaju Tinubu espoused as far back as 2000, when the first meeting of the Southern Governors Forum held in Akodo, in Lagos, where he talked about fiscal federalism. At that time, some people didn't really understand what he was talking about, and it was greeted with criticism. But along the line, you saw the Niger Delta states got 13% derivation. That was an offshoot from that campaign, and a number of other things. You see, since 1999, we've been battling over getting a new revenue formula. These are the things he has said that he will look into if he wins. So I think he pursued his ambition with tenacity, and also having understood the terrain since he was there in the Third Republic. Some of the politicians who ran against him, was there anybody who was really there in the Third Republic? I don't think so.
All right, looking at the person of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, 1,271 votes, across, which he got from the APC primary, shows that, according to opinions, that is widely accepted within the party, and that shows how popular he is within the APC as a party. So what do you think will be the first task for Asiwaju Bola Tinubu in building his candidates? He has actually built his candidates, but in building his formidability ahead of 2023 general election?
You see, right now the country is slightly divided, fractious. I mean, the mutual distrust is at a high level. So he pointed at that when he talked about building an unbreakable team. I believe it's a team that cuts across the nation. That will show him as someone who is to be nationally accepted. I think the current government mismanaged issues of diversity. I think the government came in not really understanding certain issues, certain challenges, talking about Nigeria's diversity. So at that point, it now allowed certain things like the agitation in the Southeast to get out of hand. Things that could have been handled with a political solution. Things that could have been, that could have at the round table, we sorted out. And then you also had the issue of, you have different issues, economic issues. You've seen how many times tanker drivers have talked of going on strike because of bad roads, insecurity and all of this. A lot of these things need to be put together, first of all, but we must look at building a nation, Nigeria, beyond our personal ambitions.
Absolutely. So many things to actually talk about, in the coming days about the emergence of Asiwaju Bola Tinubu. But then that's how much we can take on the news this time. Thank you so much, journalist Emeka Madunagu. Thank you very kindly.